Officer at ITSM17. I'm delighted to welcome Margo Leach, Chief Product Officer, Axelos. Is that correct? So basically, Dr. ITIL, is that fair enough?
Oh my gosh. I think someone's already called that out there, so that's trademarked. I'm not going to take that over.
But you own the next generation of ITIL?
Yeah, absolutely, which I have no illusions about what that means to the community.
We'll come back to that. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about your role at Axelos and how you come to that and so on, how you've come to our market as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've come, in terms of my experience with ITIL, I've come a bit from the other side. So was in product management on development, so releasing the code out there and having to make sure that the live environment and everything remains stable, and very appreciative of the people in the service management space that were helping to keep things stable and make sure I wasn't doing anything too crazy. So appreciate both sides of why sometimes there's a bit of criticism about the way things have been adopted, perhaps in some organizations, but also very, very aware of how important it is to most organizations in the world. And then in terms of my role as Chief Product Officer at Axelos, I'm responsible for the ITIL portfolio, but also for the wider portfolio, including Prince2 and MSP, and all of those lovely methods and frameworks. Absolutely,
and at the Fusion conference, there was the announcement of the impending refresh, rewrite, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, I think we like to call it as the evolution, to kind of invoke that feeling of continuous improvement, which is so important and is in a lot of the kind of sessions that we're having here at ITSMF UK. So absolutely, we announced this evolution of ITIL. ITIL is being updated at Fusion. We will be doing a further announcement here at ITSMF UK and talking specifically about the people that are involved. So yeah, very excited about that. And
it is. I mean, but to be clear though, it is a big update. It's not just a tinkering.
Oh, absolutely. So I think while all of our research, we've been doing research for several months, as you know, talking to over 300 people in the space, all the way from C-level down to the practitioners themselves. And what comes through very, very clearly is that the core principles of service management, the core principles that ITIL has, are very, very important. However, it does need to evolve and move on from that space to start focusing on some of the things that businesses are finding particularly important nowadays. Things such as agility, being able to respond to new opportunities, new market demands, but also being able, in the context of that, we can't introduce fragility. So people talk about speed, but you can't then become fragile. So keeping all of that stability and the things that makes ITIL so important, but building on that to enable speed to market and business agility in this ecosystem.
So they're all the new shiny things that we're all talking about.
Yes.
If I'm a existing ITIL person, qualified, will I still recognize ITIL, do you think?
Yes. Absolutely. So we're going to make sure that we call it backward compatibility. So from a perspective of businesses out there that are already using, have adopted and adapted ITIL into their organization, they'll be able to recognize ITIL in the new update. But what should happen is it will become easier to see how to integrate some of these new concepts, I shouldn't say new, but some of these concepts out there around DevOps, Agile, and Lean, and how you can use that in conjunction with the principles of ITIL. So absolutely, and then in terms of the end practitioner, people who are already on their journey, doing some intermediate level, etc., it'll be fully recognized still in the new update and backward compatible in the sense that we'll make sure that the designations are still there for them, whatever journey they've taken.
In tandem with that, you're also doing a bit of a campaign to, I guess, reinforce or remind people of the current value of ITIL. What's that doing then?
So More Than Meets the Eye, which is, you can see at our booth here, is all about absolutely kind of I don't like to use the word remind, but it is. It's reminding people about the fact that 95% of Fortune 500 companies have adopted ITIL into the organization. It has done amazing things for people. It has done amazing things for businesses, and it's very important that we keep putting the word out there about how important it is, and not lose sight of that in the excitement of the fact that we're going on an evolution and updating.
And that's sort of also working with because the research program is ongoing, to get more input or feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, we spoke to, these were live workshops, 32 workshops we did worldwide. We spoke to over 300 people, but now that has been converted kind of into a physical but also digital community. And that was the ITIL research community, which is now converted into ITIL development group. So anyone is welcome to join. It is a private group, but it's open for people to join, and they will be getting access to early kind of sneak peeks of content and what's going on with the update, and be able to feed back, and that will be taken into account as we update ITIL.
The whole thing about transparency and openness and
the nine guiding principles.
Guiding principles.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you mentioned those, because I think ITIL Practitioner, having launched quite recently, actually, last year, 2016, has been so well welcomed, and thank you. I know you were contributing heavily to that, but it's been so welcomed by the community in the terms of embracing these agile concepts, these lean concepts, and the 9 guiding principles. We can give a little bit of a hint there. Will factor have quite an important place in the evolution of ITIL.
Okay, and just from our organisation's point of view, we are going to be working together a bit more.
Absolutely.
We've announced this week an agreement that we are going to do that, and the most tangible part of that is the new award that we'll be launching at our award scheme next year, which is the ITIL from Experience Award. And that is based on excuse me, and that is based also on the 9 guiding principles. I mean, what's your sense of what you're trying to achieve with something like that in terms of reaching out to the community?
So it's really important for us to, as the More Than Meets the Eye campaign and showing what ITIL is doing out there, is for the community to tell us how they have used the principles of ITIL, maybe brought in some interesting, new ways of working like agile, lean, etc., and made a success. Made a success of some sort of transformation or some sort of project. It's open to individual, it's open to teams, but the key thing is about how someone in service management is working together with the wider organization for success.
Okay, well, we really look forward to that. I'm excited about that. Just finally, I mean, just from the point of view as product manager, 2 years down the line, what would be your sort of ideal sense of where you are with ITIL in particular and what it's doing?
So obviously having the evolution and the update out there and embraced by the community. One of the key things that's coming out from the research as well is a continual focus on the professional development of the practitioners. So people who are engaged with the content, engaged with the continuing professional development, and just adding on to the success of the update with supplementary material, supplementary content, and having a continuous improvement cycle going on from there. So that's where I would like to be in 2 years. It's not just about certifications, it's about that continuing professional development.
Okay, and presumably that also involving collaboration with the rest of the community in the market?
Yeah, definitely. So I know that without giving too much away, we are looking very carefully at the other methods and the other frameworks out there in the service management space and the wider business space, and ensuring that we are taking those into account, not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's a really key thing, and offering more of a kind of pointing towards what businesses might need to be successful.
Okay, well, we look forward to that. We look forward to the awards next year and further announcements, and to see what comes out of ITIL. It's very exciting times. So
it is, and thank you very much for having me, Barclay.